Between statues and action figures, BBTS seems like they're getting new dinosaur figures every day. Check them out at the link in the description.
Kaiju, turtles, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, Collector Steven here, and welcome to another dinosaur review, or it's a kaiju review, depending on how you look at things. It's a kaiju, don't worry about it. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of Nanmu's offerings here on the channel. I have brain fungus, not really, and I don't remember if I've ever covered any Nanmu products. I don't believe so. I do know I've done some Patreon galleries with some Nanmu stuff. But anyway, today we're going to be taking a look at Nanmu's Shadow Monarch, or their V-Rex from the 2005 King Kong. Jackson's King Kong, the one that got an SH Monster Arts. Pretty neat. Bandai, when are we going to get a Monster Arts V-Rex? Anyway, today we're taking a look at the Nanmu version, and so there are two different versions of the actual Shadow Monarch product available. There's going to be the normal version, which clocks in at around $80 or so, and then there's going to be the deluxe version that comes with a nice display base with a whole bunch of monkey-looking skulls for about $95. So there's going to be a price difference, and of course we're going to be taking a look at the deluxe version here today. We're going to be taking a look at the variant figure as well, which is not included here because I didn't want it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, this is another V-Rex figure on the market, and fans are wondering if paying a little bit more is going to be worth it for the quality. Not a whole lot of articulation here. We're effectively buying a statue. So let's take a look to see whether or not this V-Rex is going to be worth adding into your collection. Not going to be able to lie to you here, folks. Whenever I rewatch those scenes from the 2005 Kong movie, I'm not really able to get a good grasp on the colors for the V-Rex. Even when I look at the different stills online, even from what I'm able to gather are stills ripped from the movie, the models or so forth, it kind of looks like the V-Rex has a mix of green and blue to it. So if you are looking for that in particular, one solid blue, one solid green, then the Rebor will definitely be able to fill that need for you. However, generally speaking, it's well agreed upon that a more so bluish color is more so faithful for the V-Rex, and Nanmu was able to execute that very well. I will say that the different gradients that are utilized here for the paint blending in from one coloration to the other look very, very nice. It doesn't look like there is a solid transition or a mask in any one particular part. It looks like everything is blended in rather well on the normal color version of the Shadow Monarch, or the V-Rex. I'm just going to go ahead and call it the V-Rex from here on out. You and I both know exactly what this thing is. Now, one thing that I will say that could probably use a little bit more improvement, such as utilizing the master skill of subtlety, is going to be the eyes. I do think that they look fine. However, they do definitely stand out in terms of the type of paint application compared to the rest of the body. The rest of the body does seem to be a bit more toned down and a bit more earthy in application, if that makes sense, whereas the eyes definitely stick out and they do appear to be very bright in color. So they do sort of contrast with the rest of the figure, but otherwise they look just fine. There are no real issues there aside from just, they kind of sort of stand out. Now, I am going to say, in terms of sculpts, the actual details on the figure look great as well. We do have selective armor plating in some areas, at least that's what I think it looks like, which really does lead to the idea that maybe Kong has been beating up on these guys for quite some time, and they needed to develop something in their skin to help protect against a monkey bouncing on their back, which is really cool. One thing that I liked as well is when it comes to the teeth of these figures, they definitely stick out and they are rather sharp. So do be careful when you're opening and closing the jaw that you're not hurting yourself. Overall, in terms of sculpt and paint, I do think that the V-Rex here for the normal colors does look very, very cool. Now, there is an alternate color version as well, and this one is rather striking and definitely eye-catching. Some folks may not necessarily like this because of the blood on the jaw of this figure, but I do think it looks very, very intimidating. And as a matter of fact, this one pretty much came out before Godzilla vs. Kong, but doesn't it bear a resemblance to a particular enemy that Kong has in the Monsterverse? I wonder where the idea for this paint scheme came from. Not saying I have insider info, but if it looks like a duck, chances are it's a goose. I do like this sort of alternate paint variant here for the V-Rex because, again, we do associate greens and blues with the V-Rex. So here, going off on a different track compared to some other product that is on the market for the V-Rex, it's very nice to see that Nanmu decided to go in that direction and not necessarily go with the rest of the group. By the way, if you weren't able to pick up what I was putting down for the reference for this paint scheme, watch until the end of the video. So overall, in terms of the variant for availability here, this one looks rather good. Now, if you're looking for a third option, there is a whole entire bronze variant for about $70 that's widely available. So if you are looking for a bronze V-Rex, more power to you. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that extra accessory if you get the DX version. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. It is going to be a nice base that's more so made of resin, and here's going to be some pictures of it. Now, they do have subtle paint differences between them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the one that comes with the normal version and the one with the alternate colors version. And they look very cool. We do have different bones here from different animals, though very clearly there's going to be a monkey skull there. So I don't know, did Kong survive his encounter with the V-Rex? Did he not? I'll leave it up to your imagination. Maybe there was a whole species of Kong on the 2005 Skull Island. Some of them got wiped out. Who knows? Again, your imagination can go wild here. The base does feel like it's made of resin and it is very solid, and the V-Rex does fit nicely on it with little to no issues, so that is good to see. Now, I didn't really try with other dinosaurs made from Nanmu whether or not they fit on here, but considering we do have specific markings, and this is meant for the V-Rex as it came with the V-Rex, I would imagine this is only going to work with that one. Additionally, Nanmu includes these little fun cards, so this way you can actually get a nice look at the dinosaur and also some fun information, but I can't read it. So when you actually open up the plastic sleeve that the card is in, you're surprised with 2 cards, so there you go. Like I said, I can't read it except for there's going to be this nice picture of the V-Rex walking through the valley of Kong skulls and so forth. But yeah, scans 600 DPI, and if you're interested in taking a nice close-up look at them, I have them in all of their uncompressed glory up on my Patreon right now. For articulation, the jaw opens and closes on a hinge. I will say your initial feeling is that it may not want to open very far. However, upon forcing it with the alternate colors, it opened up wider than the normal colors. So something to keep in mind, you don't want to force anything or break anything or hurt yourself. So honestly, you open it a little bit, you close it, whatever, you do you. Size comparison time where you can see just how big this V-Rex is. And honestly, it is in more so of an upright position. So if you do happen to have the rebore, put a pin in it, we'll come back, then actually these are going to be about the same size. The Nanmu is slightly heftier, but honestly, I think this is just one V-Rex that had a good meal. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Honestly, Nanmu's figures do tend to go a little bit on the higher end. We're not talking W Dragon end, but they are a little bit more expensive. So for things like the quality of the paint applications, the types, and the sculpt, and including the extra bonuses that you could get in, yes, you are obviously going to get more for your money when it comes to any one individual release. However, with all that being said, yes, the Nanmu is very good, and if you do happen to have the Rebore V-Rexes, then this is still a great addition to your lineup. Now, what about them being side by side? Because I did talk about them, and quite frankly, it isn't really fair to constantly bring the Rebore in. But honestly, that one's been on the market for so long, and this one is a more expensive alternative. Which one do you get? Check out the figure fight for that. It'll be uploaded soon, like the day after this video goes live soon. All right, so anyway, the Nanmu V-Rexes, are they good? Are they worth buying? Heck yes, they are very good.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.